pop superstar Britney Spears, her attorneys, and members of that conservatorship are in this virtual hearing right now. Britney Spears has asked the judge there to end the conservatorship. It's a pretty significant. We have not heard from the pop star in some time about this. This is the first time she's appeared in court after this has been going on now for about 13 years. We'll have in just a moment more analysis, expert analysis, reporting on the ground from this truly interesting story today. You can see the frenzy of reporters and the public, members of the hashtag Free Britney movement out there in support of her today. And while we do take these live pictures right now, I want to bring in from the Washington Post, Ashley Fetters. She's been following this story all day today. Ashley, just kind of want to get your initial reaction to Britney Spears. Many of us, many of her fans have not really seen or heard from lately. A very raw, a very emotional Spears there virtually in the courtroom. What did you make of that?
Yeah, that's right. So, this afternoon, Britney Spears court hearing in Los Angeles. She had requested to speak to the court about her conservatorship, something she has maintained a pretty comprehensive silence on for a long time. But this hearing today was special. Britney requested to speak to the court, like I said, and she did. The expectation going in was that she might request a termination to this conservatorship, and that's exactly what she did today. She went in and said, this conservatorship is abusive, and as a lot of fans and observers, I think, were expecting, she brought up the fact that she is a working, functional adult who doesn't seem to need this measure that's usually reserved for the old and kind of senile elderly population that might be taken advantage of. And she, requested that this all be over. She wants her life back.
Yeah, and Ashley, I was kind of struck as well. This has been 13 years in the making. Britney Spears is almost, a 40-year-old adult woman. Can we kind of backtrack a little and walk our viewers through how we got here today?
Sure, yeah. So Britney Spears was placed under a temporary conservatorship in 2008. And that is after she had these kind of very, very memorable, I think, to a lot of people, very, very sad instances of kind of erratic public behavior. In 2007, there's this incident where she gets caught by paparazzi attacking an intrusive photographer's car with an umbrella. A lot of people remember that one. And then after this very kind of public confrontation with her ex-husband, Kevin Federline, over the custody of their kids, this leads to a 911 call. She gets placed on involuntary psychiatric hold. She gets, taken in for an evaluation that she did not ask for. And then after that, she gets put under the temporary conservatorship of her dad, Jamie, who she's estranged from at the time. But, over time, it comes to be understood that it has become permanent. And that kind of takes us through, through today. There's 13 years of, her father or a couple of people who've been brought in alongside or in his stead temporarily, acting as her conservator.
And Ashley, can you kind of confirm for us if were Britney Spears' parents on this virtual hearing today, Jamie and Lynn Spears, were they present?
That's a good question. I actually don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully, we'll hopefully get some reporting on that a little bit later. Now, a large part of this today, as we've seen outside the courtroom, is this groundswell of support. This, I think it's safe to say, to call it a movement at this point, the hashtag Free Britney movement. How much power do they really wield as an agent of change in this? I know they've brought a lot of awareness to the case, but has Britney Spears really kind of communicated with them directly?
Oh, that remains the question, right? So I think it's worth pointing out that the Free Britney movement has been around for almost as long as for literally as long as the conservatorship has. They were some of the first people to look at the situation and say something seems very off here. There might something be up with this? And yeah, they like you said, they have absolutely brought awareness to the case, and it does seem it is the Free Britney movement that is kind of mobilized on social media, especially, and organized, mobilized, rallies and protests around her hearings for this case. I do think, she has not really addressed in so many words the role the Free Britney movement has played, but she has, I think in the hearing prior to this one, she did make some gesture at, the fans playing a role and giving her the confidence to, to step forward and make requests for what she wants.
And Ashley, we are just getting some breaking news from Fox 11 in Los Angeles. The audio feed apparently of this hearing was shut down because fans and the public were recording the audio and posting it on Twitter, which apparently is illegal in the state of California. And that's how kind of here at News Now we were getting some of these snippets, some of these quotes apparently of what Britney Spears was saying in court, really kind of getting a window into her emotional and mental state. At this point, before that audio feed was shut down, we just want to read to you, and you've probably been following this as well, but she said, I want changes going forward. She said it's her wish and dream for all of this to end. And so really, kind of this emotional rawness that a lot of her fans have not seen. They've just really seen a lot of these social media posts, Instagram posts of her, dancing, pictures of her two boys with her boyfriend. And so kind of give us an insight into that really juxtaposition today.
Yeah, no, she acknowledged this today. She acknowledged exactly what you're talking about, that, we've seen only on her Instagram these happy, sort of happy-go-lucky, sort of baffling sometimes videos from her that she films at home. And today what she said was, I've told the world that I'm happy and I'm okay, and then, sort of indicated that was a lie, that was not the case behind the scenes. She described, mandatory therapy visits three times a week that often became abusive, that she, wasn't allowed to go on vacation unless she was fulfilling her therapy requirements. She talked about, prescription drug use that had kind of been, she alleged that this was sort of forced on her in this way that, made her behavior erratic, made her feel drunk. And so she described a lot of, a lot of not happy and not okay, that really contradicted what we've seen before from her.
Yeah, and actually, there was a great kind of, rundown of the things that she has not been able to do, her limited freedom under this conservatorship. Can we unpack that a little more? How is her day-to-day really affected by this for the last 13 years, as far as, financial concerns, personal affairs? You indicated, we even were reading that, she was forced to take birth control. I was reading that, she has wanted to have more children. So can you kind of unpack that a little more?
Yeah, absolutely. We did get a better glimpse, a clearer glimpse at this than we've ever really gotten into what life under the conservatorship has been like. Like I said, there's been a real shroud of silence around this for the last 13 years that I think has only really added to the mystery of it. But today we did, we did get kind of some horrifying glimpses at what this conservatorship was like for her. She, mentioned that she mentioned her, in documents that came out earlier this week, that she was forced to perform when she was very ill and should not have been. She talked about how she spent a couple of years going to Alcoholics Anonymous, went to AA a few years ago, and met some women that she really considered to be good and supportive friends, who she was then not allowed to see under the terms of her conservatorship. She talked about how her boyfriend can't come over and drive her out and take her anywhere in his car. These are all, really normal things that a lot of us take for granted. That she came forward and said, these are things that I can't have under this arrangement that I don't think is fair.
And Ashley, just a few more questions for you. Can we kind of go over as well, the outpouring of support, from other celebrities, from her friends, from people in the industry? What are they saying today?
I haven't looked at that quite as much today. I've been on, full time kind of looking at the court speed and everything. And I haven't really seen as much of that today, but she does have, friends speaking out who are saying what they can, her family included. I know Jamie Lynn Spears has been making some occasional supportive comments where she feels she can. Obviously, it's a delicate kind of family matter. There's other family members of hers involved, but there is support coming out from lots of different places for her.
And Ashley, just last question for you. What will you be looking for at the end of today when this hearing is over? What do you expect the judge to say? Can we expect any immediate action, or will there be more hearings throughout the summer?
Given the way that this case has been handled thus far, over the last, like I said, 13 years, it's my personal prognostication. I want to emphasize this is my personal prediction.
Sure.
I don't think we'll see anything be immediately effective. Like you won't see this is effective. This is terminated immediately. I really don't think that's the case. I think they will take kind of a small, careful, incremental step, perhaps toward that. But I don't think it'll happen today. I think if it happens, it'll be, sort of a longer process.
All right. Well, Ashley Fetters from the Washington Post, we thank you so much for coming on News Now to talk about this. It's a major story today, and hopefully we'll talk to you again if there are any more updates.
Yep. Thanks so much, Andrew.
All right, and we are going to be continuing to follow this story here today on News Now from Fox. We want to go back out to those live pictures that we are getting at the moment outside that courthouse in Los Angeles. The big news, though, that we just broke to you, this is coming to us from Fox 11 in Los Angeles, but according to the judge there in the courtroom, the audio feed of this hearing has been now shut down because fans and the public were recording that audio and posting it on Twitter, and that is true. We have seen lots of this audio being reported by fans and reporters who have been monitoring this, and so that's where we stand at the moment.